Hey guys, welcome back to the TitanFlow channel. We're going to go ahead and we're going to dive into some aggressive flow here that confirms some really nice trades for some of our members. And we're going to kick it off here with a really aggressive order that came in today on Goldman Sachs. So as we look at this order, we see that the first thing we see, expiration for July 2nd. That's next Friday. So that's about 6-7 trading days from today. This order came in 275,000 premium. And the key here is that the size of this order was 482 and the total volume on the day was only 501 with an open interest of only 217. So that is very aggressive, above average volume, right? The relative volume on this was very high compared to normal. And when we talk about relative volume, 482 contracts on a name like Apple would be nothing, right? Because Apple trades hundreds of thousands of contracts a day. But when you're talking about GS, you're talking about a name that doesn't really get a lot of flow. So a 482 contract order is substantial. Next thing we have here is that it's out of the money. We can see that with a 367.5 strike price. And they paid 5.65 at the ask. With a 5.5 to 5.65 spread, we have a good indication that it's fairly aggressive. Even though it's a pretty tight spread, they could have sent it at 5.6 and still probably got filled, but they went ahead and sent the order at the highest available price in order to get into the trade. So we have four key things here that all signal to us that this is a high probability aggressive order. Short-term expiration, out of the money. It's a large order, relatively large. 275,000 for GS is relatively large, and the order was sent at the ask. So now let's go ahead and let's flip over to the chart and see what happened here. And as we head over to the chart, keep in mind this order came in at 1037. So it came in on, we're looking at the 60-minute chart, it came in on the second candle here. And we can see it came in as they broke out above a very important resistance. That's the 200-day EMA. If we scroll back, they fell below this on June 14th, and they haven't really been able to reclaim it since then. So that was a really strong indicator that this order actually is supported by our chart. And we see here after that order came in, 3 really nice green candles in a row after that order. And we see that it actually traded all the way up to our next level of supply. And one of our members was actually able to follow the flow on this trade and hit it for 30% profit. So this was a great trade opportunity. Again, we followed the flow on this and it put in a move from 367 all the way up to 371. Great trade. Alright guys, now for the last part of this video, we're going to be talking about the continuation in Tesla. There was so much aggressive flow in Tesla today, guys, that I couldn't even fit it all onto one page here. I probably could have filled this page with 4 or 5 more pages like these. Going in chronological order here. Actually, I messed it up a little bit. So this is the first one here, coming in right out the gate, right at 9:32 a.m. 760 calls, 685 calls, 685 calls, 680 calls. And keep in mind, at the time, the price of Tesla was about 670. Right, so when you see calls that are $70 out of the money, and another theme here is all of these orders were sent at the ask, with the exception of this order. But 725, 750, 740s, you even had an 850, right? We had a small order on 850 calls. That's about $150 out of the money on Tesla. Substantial. And, you know, going back to this page here, which was the very first one, looking at 9:32 a.m. up to 9:47 a.m., let's go ahead and let's flip over to the chart now. So first off, looking at Tesla's daily chart, when they broke out yesterday and all those orders first came in and we cleared this, we knew we had room up to our next level of supply, which was the 100-day moving average. And we knew that we could at least probably trade up to that. And then we gapped up and tested it pretty much right out the gate. And when we started to test this area here, that's when the orders really started to pour in with size. So this was a nice confirmation. Again, just like the trade we just went over on GS, you had very aggressive flow here, and you had right as we're starting to break out, the aggressive flow starts to pour in at an even higher rate. So now let's go ahead and let's take a look at the 60-minute chart and start to dive into really what went on today. So you see here on the 60-minute chart, we pretty much broke out and never looked back. And those first 3 candles we put in, when the orders really started pouring in, something really important to note here was that the volume was actually rising, right? Usually when you're looking at the 60-minute chart, the volume starts out pretty aggressive and then dies off as the day goes on, right? That's just normal in trading. Usually the first 1 to 2 hours, you have your influx of volume, and then the day just starts to taper off. But that first 1 to 2 hours is really where all the trading goes down. And you saw that even on that second and third hour, even on that third hour, it was actually the highest volume. And keep in mind, we had that breakout around 680 when the flow started to pour in, and the flow confirmed that we had it, that 680 breakout was valid. And we actually put in a move all the way up to 697 off of that 680 breakout, which again was confirmed by our aggressive flow in Tesla. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. And the key takeaway here is just always keep an eye on, if we go back to that last slide, keep an eye on these things, right? Short-term expiration, out of the money, large orders sent at the ask, and then going back to Tesla, repeat orders, right? When you see a strong amount of orders coming in out of that meet all that criteria we just talked about, and you're seeing orders come in nonstop for out of the money, these are all very strong indicators. Now, again, we talk about all the time, flow isn't everything. But with both of these trades that we've discussed today, the charts confirmed it, right? When the flow started pouring in, we were actually breaking out on our charts on significant levels. Now, even if you don't use moving averages in your trading, which I would tell you you're crazy and I would strongly recommend you do, even just standard trend lines or any sort of indicators would have shown that Tesla was bullish today because it was breaking out of key resistance levels. So with that being said, that's going to do it for this video. Again, I really hope you guys took something away from this. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop a comment down below or feel free to reach out to us on Discord.